Well, hey guys, we are here at Dingus, the world famous Dingus, one of the most famous bars in all of racing. And if you haven't been here yet, you need to get here ASAP. Time is running out for 2018. You got a couple more nights to get down here and try it out. But you can see all the famous names and the walls everywhere here. One guy that may or may not have signed the wall just yet. That is T-Mac, Tim McCreadie, right here to my left, the winner of the 2008 edition of the Late Model Nationals. And man, it wasn't just the win. It might have been one of the most exciting wins ever here at this track.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. I mean, we had a good car all week, and I think we ran right up front in the first night, and then the second night we kind of struggled a little bit, but we still went forward. And I don't know, just the car was so balanced. I thought we'd have a real good chance at it, and been coming up here for a little bit, and I got the lay of the land a little bit better, I guess. You know, whether we're here or whether we're over there, I've gotten a little better at all of it. So, you know, you just go ahead and do your best. But it was a magical year that year, that's for sure.
Now, before we get into more racing talk here, you have kind of a connection with Dingus. You and AJ, the owner of Dingus, right here to our right, I guess their left, right here. Good friends with him for a couple of years now.
Yeah, I mean, we came out, a long time ago with Rick Eckert, and we were racing. I think we were in Brownstown, Indiana, on a Saturday night, and we thought, well, we'll just drive up to Knoxville and park beside the Speedway and work, because obviously Rick Eckert, if anybody knows him, he knows a lot of sprint car guys, and he's grew up around the area in York, Pennsylvania, where obviously it's one of the hotbeds for the PA posse and the whole deal. So we came here, and I mean, AJ can probably pick it up a little bit. I think we rolled in here like late Sunday afternoon maybe, or somewheres around there. Maybe even it might have been Monday during the day, and he didn't know us, we didn't know them, and by the end of the week, it was we probably needed to all leave each other because it just ended up being one night after another, but it's always been fun. I consider him one of my close friends, and we've met up outside of obviously the race, and I've been to his place, and I've hung with his family, and he treats everybody like family, and I appreciate the friendship.
Well, it's not too hard to get along with this guy right here. I mean, he's pretty friendly. I mean, AJ, you got known him for a while now. I mean, it's a great relationship with you two right now.
Yeah, like you said from the get-go, when they came in, it's kind of funny. They rolled in, and I follow all kinds of race. I'm a sprint car junkie, but I used to read Street Sports front to cover, and so I'd read about these guys racing. His dad's a legend, Barefoot Bob McCreadie, and they rolled in on Monday, and one of the first things Eckert said, hey, how are you guys? It was a Monday morning, and I'm Rick Eckert, and I'm Tim McCreadie. I go, nah. They go, yeah. I go, I said, how the hell did you find me? They go, oh, Lasowski said to come find you. He said, we had nothing to do for 3 or 4 days. He said, come find you. We could have some fun. So I said, meet me for lunch. I went and got some of the bartenders, and we've been great friends ever since. It's been awesome. But like I said, outside of racing, good buddy.
Absolutely. And with that, when was the first time, or has he done it? Has he walked up to you and said, we're doing shots? We're doing shots right now. And what was the first shot you took with this guy right here?
Man, I think it's always been like a Fireball mainstay. Usually it's like, right. I remember the machine, I don't even know if it's still here, had three of them in there at once. And it's probably that. And who knows, sometimes if you do too many, you don't remember what you're really doing by the end of the night. So those were years ago. Anymore, I'm more of a leisurely drinker. I'll be here hanging out and maybe be up late, but I don't really. As you get older and you get things going in a different life, right. You can't run as hard as you used to at anything.
Well, your go-to drink when you come to Dingus, it's just a simple Crown and Pepsi, right?
Yeah, it's usually my go-to drink about anywhere. So.
And not a bad one to have there. But I think the relationship with you and AJ and this entire community here, it kind of goes back to your past in racing. I mean, you have that open wheel connection. You have that 06 Chili Bowl win. And let's talk about that for a second. I mean, what was that like to get that win? That's, as one time a year midget racer, that's it. That's a massive win to have.
Well, I mean, when you do anything in life, you don't do it like from what I'm doing. I don't go into it trying to just be a part of it. I want to win, or I wouldn't really try it. And I've always liked them cars. I mean, I grew up, like AJ will tell you, we've talked about this a long time. We grew up, you're watching IndyCar racing, you're watching Thursday Night Thunder, yep. And you're watching all these guys get on these, whether it's pavement or dirt, on these little cars doing amazing things with them. And it just kind of was a progression that, man, I always wanted to try that. And I was fortunate enough to do it, and no one won. I mean, like AJ, he'll tell you another thing. He was in the infield. We had passes, like press passes that we were giving away, and he had so many people down in there that I think that they were like a little upset. It was just it was one of the greatest atmospheres. I've got pictures in my house of me on the car and the people that are around. You can pick them out. He's one of them. There's just Josh Richards is there. There's just Mark Richards is there. There's so many people that It was like about as cool of I say team effort as you could get. I know a lot of guys win that race and they'll tell you, oh, I have all these people help me. I don't think anybody's had as many people as we've had around, just out of the kindness of our heart, do it for nothing.
Yeah.
Just for the joy of doing it, and that's kind of how I've tried to race. I might not have a lot of money, and it comes and it goes, but it's the pure enjoyment of my feelings and looking at other people around when we're all there together and it all works out. And that was one of them nights. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I really wouldn't.
Well, you've won Knoxville in 08, you won the Chili Bowl in 06, and you have an amazing career so far. Looking at late models, you won the Silver Dollar Nationals last year, the North-South 100 last year, but there's always been one event that you've won to win, and it's not in a late model, and it's not in a midget, it's in a modified. You always want to win that Syracuse Mile. That place holds a special place in your heart, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like if you're a wing sprinter or a kid growing up, it's here. Every year they have this race, and it's the Mecca, and it's their Daytona 500 or Indy 500. And for us, it was always Syracuse. As a kid, I'd miss school. It was like Wednesday on, didn't go to school for the week to go do it, and it was just a unique atmosphere. It's hard to explain it because it's hard to capture what it was because such a big track, and maybe the racing wasn't great, but there was so many other things going on. You have races at night. There's just so much stuff, and it was just like a build-up every night of who could set the pole, and then you lock 6 in, and I was fortunate enough to win the small block end of it, but the big one really, we I don't know how many years in the last decade I was there that we were, I think 5-6 years in a row we led with under 10 laps to go, so it's a tough one. It's moved down to Oswego, which is still a big event, and for me it's more fun because it actually races now, and that would be the one. It's been hard to get. I don't feel like we're jinxed every time we go under something stupid happens. The first year at Oswego, I led till lap 196 and got in the fence, and so it's one of those deals. I don't know if I'll ever push through, but we're going to keep trying.
That's all you really can do. But, when you look at your career the past couple of years and that transition you had to Lucas, you kind of shocked the world when you said, all right, we're going to leave the Outlaws, we're going to go into Lucas, do this full time. You followed Josh Richards and Darrell Anigan, or they followed you. Explain that transition and what it's been like so far and the competition difference there and the traveling and everything.
Well, it doesn't matter which one you run. The upper echelon teams are good on both. Right. With the Lucas, I feel like it's just a lot of guys with a lot of experience, and you can't beat in a big race or a long race. You just can't beat the knowledge of knowing, like maybe what the guy next to you that's racing is going to do because you've seen him do it for 10 years or whatever. And new guys can come in and they're fast. All the young guys, every one of them is fast. But to get in our division we're at, it takes a little more than just big balls. It takes a little more than that, and because we've all got them. And so the Lucas deal was just, for me personally, it was just hooked into a lot of bigger shows. And that's really, I love winning no matter what, but boy, them big ones are just, that's what you want to get. That's why we're all here. So I kind of tied in with that, and we were really good for 2 years, or really 3 years. This year it's been tough, but you don't quit. If I was a quitter, I would have given up a long time ago.
No, I hear you. You talked to AJ before we started talking here today about life on the road and how it can be challenging sometimes. And now you've been married for 3 years. Wife's been very supportive, but it still can be challenging at times to leave the family at home and do what you got to do.
Yeah, our situation's a little different than most. We haven't really had the benefit of having like a stacker S&S type hauler that you could bring everybody along. When my son was born, he's 2 years old, he's 3 years old, and what are you going to do? You can't strap him in the back seat of a tractor trailer. So we've been hauling around with a semi with a trailer, and it just made it hard. And we went on trips, we've done it, but it just on the long haul, it's just too expensive and too hard for us to do it that way as a family. So it's been a lot of sacrifice. My wife's not here, but it's more sacrifice on her end than mine because I'm still doing what I love doing, and I'm sitting here doing a cool interview today, and then I'm going to go back over there and play with a fancy spring machine and have all the bells and whistles, right? So, and she's going to be home doing the stuff that's hard, which is, I've done it. I can go 3 days at home taking care of the kids and feel like, man, I got to get out of here. Yeah, and so, really any woman that can do those things is a great one, and my wife's, she's no exception. She puts her head down and grinds through, and my job is to try to keep things fresh as possible. You know what I mean? And she deserves way better probably, but right now I can only do what I can do right now.
God bless the racing wives, right?
Well, I mean, I know mine. I mean, she's all day long. I try to get her to slow down a little bit because she just doesn't. She won't. She doesn't sit. She's always doing something, and you know, like I say, I love her to death. So it's all you can do, and hopefully she feels the same way all the time. I know it's not easy because it's hard to be. She's pretty much a single mother most of the time. So, but she's a trooper. She's you know, she's as good as they come, and that's why I married her.
There can't be any other driver out here this weekend that has more of a hometown advantage here than what this guy's got. That's because of what you guys have brought him into as far as making one of your own. I mean, you get the whole, not just you as a family, but you know, the Dingus fan base is really behind Tim McCreadie this weekend as well.
That was what was really cool from the get-go. A lot of people from Knoxville didn't know a lot about late model racing. A few did, but so when you don't know something about a sport that you love, a different kind of racing, if you know a personality or somebody, it encourages. So us being good buddies, all my friends took knows and got to know him as a friend because he's like a brother. So all of a sudden it just keeps multiplying and multiplying and multiplying, and it's just if there's a hometown favorite here that's not like Burkhofer's an Iowa guy, but I mean if there's a guy from outside of this area that's a fan favorite, it's definitely Timmy, and it's because of his personality and top. He's a badass driver. You know, I also want to say, when he won the Chili Bowl, and if I remember right, did you start fourth row inside or outside? He didn't win, second time in a midget? Second time?
No, yeah, second year, second race.
So he didn't win from the front row. He earned that dang thing. He started in fourth row, and he passed some darn good drivers, and we all know how hard it is to win a big race.
Right.
Crazy.
Now, race fans, if you're ever driving through Dingus on a weekday, maybe in the wintertime or even the summertime on a Wednesday or Thursday, stop in. You might see this guy. He's been known to stop in on his way across the entire country and just to stop in and say hi once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool if we lived closer because, like I said, our friendship's gone beyond just, business or racing and all that. And then we don't maybe reach out every day, but there's times when, like, maybe he's feeling something, he'll call me or vice versa for advice or just anything in life. I mean, the beauty of life is that you don't get many people that you get close to a lot of people, but then you get ones that are really close, and those are the ones you rely on through the tough times. And he's got big shoulders, so when I have some tough times, he'd be a guy that I'd call. So this is a great place. It's definitely more than it's become a family, and he's right about everybody in here. Like the card game that they do here and things like that got started partly because we had nothing to do, and we were like, "What are we gonna do? It's Wednesday night," and he called a bunch of his buddies up and said, "Well, we can just fool around and play some cards for fun," and next thing you know, it's turned into something like I said, everything here is always done. From the heart, I feel like right. You're not gonna get no fakeness out of really anybody that he's associated with around here, and that's there's not a lot of that in the world sometimes, so right. it's refreshing.
Now you have a trademark celebration. You get out of the car, you sit on the window, you slam the hood, you get up and you clap to the audience. It's one of the cooler celebrations I think we've done here in a while. The 08 Late Model Nationals, you did it, and you did it at the Silver Dollar Nationals. What's it going to take to see you do it again on Saturday night?
Oh, we need some speed. I mean, it's this year's been tough. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's this car that we're running here. When we brought it out of Florence and immediately won with it, and then run second in the north-south with it. And I thought, man, we're really trending in the right direction. Well, then I roll over at Mansfield, and it's been weird. They fixed it, and it just hasn't. I don't know. It's just been a little off. But I think our whole program's a little off, and we're not really whatever we were doing to make us good last year just isn't as good. Guys have picked their programs up, and so now instead of having a car that's maybe 2 or 3 tenths better, now I'm about even. Maybe sometimes I'm behind, and it's hard to make that up at certain points of the night. Like last night's a perfect example. I mean, we timed 10th in our group, puts us 5th in the heat, passed one car, actually 2 cars riding in 3rd, and I'm telling you, it's like I told Phil, my crew chief, after the heat, I said, it's one mistake out of 10 laps. I'm talking a half an inch is when I missed getting into one, or maybe it was 3, and I couldn't stay down. I carried it across the track, and then there's a guy there. Well, that same guy started 4th. Well, heck, he ends up inverted onto the pole and led half the race, and we end up not making it. And just because of the way the format is right now, it's not easy to just pass guys. There's not a big advantage from the guy that started on the pole in the heat versus the guy that started 8th. It's not even maybe 2 tenths, and that's tough, and that just makes it you know, I'm not here to complain about the format. It is what it is. You just got to get better. You know, you get better, you quit. So, and that's what we got to do.
Absolutely. Now the final question we have for you is the name on the wall anywhere in here. So many famous names. You got them all over the place. Has T-Mac signed this thing for you?
Yeah, I can't remember where it is. I mean, it might be on there several times, but it was the first year. Like, he'll tell you, we came in here with me, Rick Ecker, Robbie Allen, Hoghead, everybody knows him as. I think Dustin was working for, guys that are down south now, and my guys, Tommy Greco and Niskus, and like, we were here all week, and we signed right off the bat, but it was crazy because you just don't, it's weird. Like, this is a racing town, and to be able to we went into that little place in town to eat dinner, and it had pictures all over the wall, and he brings us in the corner. He's like, there's a picture of your dad from Australia running a modified on a sprint car wall. You just don't get that everywhere. Right. It's like, I live just outside of Rochester, New York now, and Canandaigua Speedway's 10 minutes from my house. Rochester's got 800,000 people in it, and I can go anywhere I want. Nobody even knows who you are.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I can't walk around this block here even on a Wednesday where somebody's going to come up and say something, hey, man, good job last week. And it's neat. I mean, listen, man, in life it's nice to feel good about yourself.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
When you're feeling down and things are going tough, pick yourself up. Somebody needs to pick you up once in a while. And it don't matter whether you're famous or not or good at what, you know what I mean? Every once in a while it's nice to have somebody just say, hey, man, have a good day.
Good day, exactly.
Yeah, so and that's what I've tried to do, maybe not all my life, but lately, I mean, if you don't like the person you're being, just change.
Change it. Right, absolutely.
You know what I mean? That's what my old man would say, change. Do something different.
We have one last question. Didn't actually hit this yet. It's the nickname. If I were to stand on the corner out here on a Saturday night in July and said T-Mac was here, we would see Terry McCarl come rolling up here in a fan base. We'd get extremely excited. But today it's a different T-Mac. You guys kind of have a friendly friendly war going on with that nickname, or you guys have a friendly competition going on. There's no hard feelings either way with that nickname at all on who T-Mac is.
Nah, I don't. We've talked a little bit. We joke about it. He was here before I was, and he had that name before me. I guess a lot of it's got to do with just how our last name is, So it's like I tell him all the time, the only guy that ever made the real money off that was McCreadie that played basketball. So he's the one that had T-Mac gear and Sears and had all this big money off that. But it's
right.
Like I said, I've been called a lot worse, so if that's what they want to call me, that's a good day.
Well, the running joke he had with us was that whoever wins the most races in a given year, the following year gets the nickname trademark. So how's that looking so far for you this year?
I get to add our modified wins, and I've got a few of those, but it was one on the late model, which is not very many. So it's and it was only a 10. So if you're only going to win 5 or 6 in a year, you like to make them 50,000s if you could, So it's It's just like anything. The sport of the ebb and flows of this sport is amazing. I've said before, the beauty of racing is everything happens. You get put up on a pedestal and you get humbled, and some days you deserve to get humbled, and some days you deserve to get put up. And the beauty of it is the guys that I think that are, in my opinion, the people I want to be around are genuine, and they speak from the heart, and they want to. If I'm broke on the side of the highway, I hope that there'd people that help me get going, you know what I mean? Absolutely. I don't know if I can say that about everybody, but I know there's guys that if I saw them, I'd pull over, a lot of them, and try to help, and it's like I said, that's the beauty of racing. There's just a lot of people that are there for you, even when you're having a bad day.
Absolutely. So if you stop in, you might see T-Mac here at Dingus, and you stop in, get a drink. If it's your first time in Knoxville.
I'm not drinking right now.
Yes, that is not vodka.
Water.
That is
That's
water.
water.
Oh, that is water.
The year I won, and he'll tell you, I brought a panel over in the middle of the day to give him, and I was sitting right about here, and I was drinking cranberry juice. And I don't know how many people come up after the race and said, well, I'll tell you what, them few drinks you had during the day must have calmed you down. I'm like, no. Oh, God damn it, no, I'm not drinking at all during the day. Jesus.
It's all water, we promise, folks. But if it's your first time coming to Knoxville, there you go, exactly. Yes, absolutely. The racing ends, the party begins at Dingus. If it's your first time coming to Knoxville Raceway, don't just go to the racetrack and call it a night. Check it all out. Come over to Dingus, see the names on the wall, say hi to AJ, say hi to the staff. You might even see some drivers and crew members here that you'd never thought you'd meet before. So Knoxville Raceway is a sprint car capital of the world all year long, but for these 3 days, again, it is the late model capital of the world at Knoxville Raceway.